old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops and nuts, there are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From bad hair juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Woo! Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. So this is the Ejectables, the show where movie enthusiasts Bill, Joe, and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics or sadly ignored or forgotten by the audiences. Today's guest is Michael Arlington. Welcome to the show. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Michael Arlington. I'm a reading teacher in Somerville, Massachusetts. I teach grades 1 through 3, struggling readers. And Bill and I went to Emerson College together.
And maybe I did too.
Have you heard of it, Ian?
How do you spell that?
It's with the U. There's a U in there somewhere.
Oh, like sun, solar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of it. That's in Kansas.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Kansas is pretty.
Oh, you would love it, Ian. You would love the politics there.
Oh, great. Good. Maybe I need a wife there too.
Yes, maybe. Although your wife went to Emerson, she's beautiful and nice as well. So.
And a good foreigner.
Yeah.
Now American. So Michael, tell us more. Okay, that's how you know Bill. Was Bill cool at school?
Stop it. No.
One of the coolest. Yeah. One of the coolest.
Stop it.
He's one of like 3 people I remember. Yeah. So I think that's a good sign. I mean, yeah.
I seem to remember you being called Super Bill.
Yeah. Well, no. That's when I turned 30. I adopted that moniker.
I've never called you. I will start calling you.
Yes. All right. I'm going to change it right now.
Are you the same Bill from Stump the Bill?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You're pretty super. So, Michael, should we jump into your movie? Is there anything else you'd like to share before then?
I feel like everybody knows enough about me right now. So why don't we talk about The Silver Bullet by Stephen King?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, let's go like that. Look at that little graphic.
That movie, that poster makes it look like a good film. I'm so sorry.
So what's your opinion then, Ian?
Wait, we can't jump into that yet. You first.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So tell us why you love the movie. Like you probably saw it when you were a kid, right?
I saw it when I was a kid. I was like 10 or 11, and my neighbors rented it from the local video store.
Which video store? What town?
Well, I was in Richmond, Vermont, and
okay.
It was not. It was pre-Blockbuster, so and I lived on a dirt road. But if you have been to Vermont, you know that that's kind of their thing. Like all the roads are dirt roads. For some reason, I think they're run by like a car wash cartel.
We went to see that eclipse, a few months back up in Vermont, and it took us 8, 9, 10 hours to get home from up there, all dirt roads, because freeways were packed. It was insane, but nice dirt roads. Go on.
Car wash cartels. They have a stranglehold on Vermont.
That's it. That must be it. No pavement.
Yes.
But we were also surrounded by woods. And so I watched this and I was like terrified for months afterwards. And I'd have to walk like the equivalent of a block on a dirt road. It's not a block if it's a dirt road, but I'd have to like walk to my friend's house, and I would just run, like sprint to get there and knock on the door and just be looking over my shoulder, waiting for the werewolf to get me after seeing this movie. And you have to love a movie. Oh, I wanted to know your policy on spoilers.
Oh, We're all for it.
They're
Yeah.
already spoiled.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
So
Especially for a movie that's based on a calendar. But go on.
yeah. So
Don't get
just love the opening of the the drunken railroad worker getting his head batted off and seeing it fly through the air, and all of the kind of like I realized this time watching it that you really don't like anybody who gets killed. Like that's kind of a everybody's kind of like the stakes are kind of like low for the victims
True.
in this movie. I mean, we want Corey Haim to live
In real life too.
at least
he's dead.
2 more years, anyways. Yeah,
He's dead, Ian.
I know. And the other kid, the other boy, is dead too.
Is he?
no.
You looked him up?
I did in natural causes, but still sad.
Okay.
Yeah, same age, year before him. But go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you know, being that age, I loved watching movies with other kids in them, and 80s movies with kids in them always had swearing and violence and good things to recommend them.
Like Explorers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah, the Monster Squad. Yeah, that's a great one. Was there something in the writing? Like, is there something that you could recommend? Why do you think people should revisit this film or discover it for the first time? Do you think it holds up today?
I don't think it holds up. But there was a great line. Who's the guy from Lost that's the sheriff in the movie?
He was the stepdad, Terry O'Quinn.
Yeah.
He has a great line in it when he tells the state police to fuck off, and the guy says, "I don't think you should have told the Smokies to fuck off." And he said, "I waited till they hung up." And that was like a classic. That's kind of like one of the Stephen King cop things to say, I think. One of his folksy cop things. What else would recommend it? Oh, Gary Busey.
Yeah.
He's a real highlight.
He is though. I think he's the life of this movie.
Yeah. And Corey Haim does an excellent job.
He does.
Oh, that's the other thing about, and I don't know if this was like how widespread in the 80s, but kids in wheelchairs had a lot to overcome when they were in movies. And this is an example of that. And one of your other favorites, Bill, I think, was Mac and Me.
Yes, I have the poster.
Right. Yeah. So I noticed that if you really want to kind of put kids in a tough spot, starting them in a wheelchair is a good way to do it.
As if a werewolf is not bad enough. But he does the coolest wheelchair, that hot rod wheelchair. That's
yeah.
Though, how does that work in school? Would everyone get, carbon monoxide poisoning?
I know, belching smoke.
Yeah.
It's the 80s. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. And it's summer, so he had no, it wasn't summer. It was, I don't know.
It spanned spring to September.
I was obsessed with the novelette, graphic novel, or whatever you would call this, in 6th grade. So, and this is why, because the images, like, it's easy to read, for the 4 words I knew. The images are terrifying. Like, look at that. This guy's getting his face ripped off.
Scary movie.
So then this movie was coming out, and I was so excited to see it. I got my mom to bring me to it. What was I, like 12 or 13? And I got to say, this is the first movie I was disappointed at.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't hate it. I think back then I appreciated it still because of the book. I'm like, oh, I got to love it. And it's got a werewolf. But I think at that point I had seen An American Werewolf in London and parts of Howling. So the special effects were not on a par. But supposedly King and I guess Dan Attias, maybe or the producer, I forget who, really wanted to keep the werewolf looking somewhat like a bear and not like a werewolf. But I don't know. It's I find this movie super hokey. No offense to you. You said it doesn't hold up, so we are on the same page.
I, however, do feel deeply offended somehow.
Sorry. I remember your name from school and I didn't really know you, so that says something about you,
Oh, okay.
right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think you had a good reputation, Super Mike. Michael.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
So there's the Washington Post said, Silver Bullet is about as suspenseful as looking at your watch to see which minute will pop up next.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
burn.
But Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars. He thinks, I know there's a case that can be made for how bad Silver Bullet is. I agree, it's bad, but it's not routinely bad in its own awesomely tasteless and bubble brain-headed way. It is bad, but I think every laugh was put in there lovingly and intentionally. So he thinks King had written the screenplay to kind of provoke and make fun of his own formula. So,
so he thinks, well, that's given somebody a lot of credit, I think.
He said he laughed a ton at it and loved it. And
Yeah.
I think it's too cheesy, too hokey for it to have been sincere. But I have to say, and then I'll let you talk, Bill, I'm sorry. Dan Attias, the director, this is the only film that he ever directed. He's directed a lot of really good TV. He is the nicest guy. When I was working behind the scenes as a PA or whatever, he was the nicest guy I ever met in the business. He was so willing to help. Always said, come to set, I'll teach you what I know. And I never took him up on it, but the most genuine guy. So I celebrate this movie in honor of him. Bill,
I just never seen a movie where there's a voiceover and the protagonist leaves for 50 minutes of the movie. Do you think they added it? Like, do you think they added it because, like, in test previews, it's like her story, and then the daughter leaves, right?
And there's no like voiceover in the middle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right. It starts with the voiceover. A nice point. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, what's going on here?
It bookends.
Yeah.
I've never seen it before, dude. You've picked a movie. You've stumped me, Michael. I've never seen this movie before. And I'm sure in the 80s it was pretty popular. You know, he definitely looks like someone's wearing a bear suit sometimes.
Yeah.
And the accents go in and out. They're either Southern or New England.
Right.
I don't know.
I couldn't figure that one out either.
Yeah. So it was filmed in North Carolina. So I think that was the big deal.
It wasn't very popular back then, was it, Michael? I don't recall it being. I was like the only person that had seen it in my group of friends.
Yeah, I really didn't know what was popular. At that
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't even have roads.
Oh, that's true.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah,
He didn't
I would
have
have been
roads.
scared too. If I had dirt roads, that's scary.
Yeah.
In the woods.
that's kind of it just made a lasting impression on me. My thoughts return to it often. That's why I chose it.
I'm actually glad you did choose it because it is a movie I've been wanting to revisit for years, and I was going to drag my kids to watch it on video. But I am grateful that I did not have them watch it.
And there's a 4K version of it.
Really?
Lober. So it does have an audience, man. You know, it is a cult film.
And it was, when I made the joke about the calendar earlier, it sincerely was a calendar at first before it became this graphic novel thing. So it was just a 12-month calendar with these different kills. And then they're like, well, maybe we should make this graphic novel. And then they're like, let's make a movie out of it. So I think that might explain some of its hokey thinness. I don't know. But it's a movie based on a calendar.
There you go.
How many do you guys know how many screenplays Stephen King actually wrote himself?
Well, Maximum Overdrive, right? So that one.
Yeah.
Oh, he directed it also. I think Cat's Eye, that same year that came out, right? Or is that based on any of his books?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think he did do other ones. I'm not sure.
No, I mean, The Shining was based on his book. Misery is based on his book.
How about Christine? Did he write? I don't know if he did.
that was Stephen King's Christine. John Carpenter directed it.
Yeah. Christine's great.
Maybe it would have been smart of me to look that up instead.
No, it's okay.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm glad you chose this movie. I think this was a really good pick. I think it is. I feel like I'm panning it so bad. Again, love you, Dan Attias. It feels like a made-for-TV movie. It's very poorly shot. I think it was going to be directed by Don Cascarelli, if I'm saying his name right. He directed Phantasm, and everyone loved The Beastmaster when we were kids. But I think he had disagreements with the producer Dino De Laurentiis, and then King came in and wrote the screenplay, and that's that. But maybe it would have been better in Don Cascarelli's hands.
I did like how I don't know how much time you want to spend on this, but
as much as you want.
Yeah.
I was struck by how the first person who gets killed is kind of like, we don't have a high opinion of that person at all. He's drinking on the job, and he doesn't sing well. And then the next person is the woman who's just about to kill herself, right?
Yeah.
She's
but we
have
some empathy for that lady, which is kind of that kills a little sad.
Yeah, but it was sad and brutal, right?
Yeah,
because of the claws going across her and all of those things. But I guess the stakes were low because it was just beating her to the punch. And I know that that's part of the pastor's, the reverend's justification later on for his choices. But then the kid was a real dick, right?
Yes, he was. He picked on the sister.
He ruined Corey Haim's sister's pantyhose that 14-year-olds wear in 1985.
It cost $1.49.
Yeah, she gave him some money back, right?
Yeah. He got some change.
That's sweet.
He couldn't Venmo.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I did feel bad for some of the fog victims.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the bat. I think there is some purposeful humor. Obviously, like the werewolf beating the people with the bats, kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad for those people too.
Well, it's 4K. Check it out. Has a cult following. Michael nailed it.
And seek this out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was obsessed with this. Should I anything else we want to say about that one, or should we hop into?
I think we should hop into your pick.
The Host. So my pick this week is The Host. It's directed by Bong Joon Ho. I'm sure I didn't say that correctly. Who we all know from Parasite, which I believe won Best Picture a few years back. And he also directed Snowpiercer. Now, The Host, of those three movies I've seen of his, is my favorite of them. Maybe not I know everyone
you're crazy.
Parasite's good. It's really good. But I didn't dig Snowpiercer, but Parasite's really smart and well directed. But The Host is so much fun. I think it is so much fun. It is the story is about this toxic waste gets thrown into the Han River in Seoul, South Korea. And what happens is a sea creature or river monster is birthed from that, and it starts attacking people along the river, and it kidnaps this little girl and puts it in its lair, and her father will stop at nothing with his family members to get this girl back. It is full of comedy. It is full of drama. I think it's actually quite moving at times, and surprisingly, it feels sort of like a Hollywood movie, but it has a very lovely, unpredictable edge, which I really appreciated about this film. What you guys think?
Michael? Well, ditto, Ian. I want to just let you speak for me because that was so well said. But I enjoyed it a lot. I liked the humor and yeah, I was I saw this in the movie theater. I think I went to the Kendall Square Cinema to see it. But I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was great. And I think I liked Snowpiercer, and I couldn't make it through Parasite.
You're waiting for the musical.
Yes.
Musical's going to be amazing. It's really, yeah.
Not because it's bad, but because it made me feel very uncomfortable.
Sometimes. Yeah. And that is a lot less of a kind of Hollywood blockbuster vibe. That's a very interesting indie movie. So I think I just wanted more of this, knowing this director, which obviously that's not, but I think that's a good movie. I think, and Bill, before we get into you, I think the special effects were amazing in 2006 when this came out, which you don't normally expect from a film that isn't American, beautiful looking special effects. Not to sound, Bill. But anyway, I think they still look pretty good.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh no,
Okay.
you're gonna make this one of those clips again. No, I think it holds up. Bill?
Oh, was I supposed to watch this?
Did watch it. You texted me, oh Lord.
It's definitely not better than Snowpiercer or Parasite, which are two of the best movies made in the last 20 years.
Snowpiercer, really?
Yes, they even made a TV show out of it. You're crazy.
I don't know.
It's like saying you like Peggy Sue Got Married and didn't like The Godfather, but okay.
I've seen The Godfather. Or what? Peggy Sue Got Married.
You never seen The Godfather?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
You've seen Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It was okay.
Anyways, this is another Ian pick. I did not scroll Instagram reporter fails during while watching this movie. I definitely did not do that.
Oh, good. That's
because I definitely did not during the length of the movie get stuck in the vortex of news reporters making mistakes and falling down while watching this movie. I did not do that because.
Wait, you're lying. You did do that. Did you?
I did not. I definitely did not for an hour and a half while following this movie. I did not watch the myriad amounts of Instagram reporter fails.
You have missed out on a great opportunity. You did text me though at one point saying that is the best shot I've ever seen. What shot was that?
I forget what shot.
Oh, wait, did you?
I did watch. I did watch it. He's an awesome director. It ain't for me.
That's right. Were you moved at all?
Yeah, I was moved to shut it off.
Wow.
Oh,
no.
that's so mean.
I just wish
I don't know how to take that.
I wish Ian would just pick a normal movie. That's
what,
all.
Like Greedy?
Yeah. That's a good point.
That's okay. I'm ready to defend that one, but
well, it's gonna need some defense.
Oh man, I know.
Bill, you're missing out. I understand.
I did watch it. Very well directed. The dad from Parasite's in it. I see why people love it. I can't believe the guy from Married to the Mob was in it. So that was crazy. The guy that gets shot.
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah, I was thinking you would dig this because it feels like a mainstream Hollywood movie, which is generally you pick that kind of middle of the road mainstream Hollywood movie.
Yeah, I pick movies that are good that you can watch.
No, just kidding. Okay.
That has a beginning, middle, and end.
I thought you would like it, but I'm glad you did stick through it and didn't.
Of course, yes. No, hold on. I appreciate it. It's very well shot.
Okay.
It's very inventive, but it's not for me.
So let's get into.
And it's definitely not Parasite or.
It's different. I do appreciate, and Parasite I think is really, really good. But it is.
You can only watch it once though. Like anyone that buys it on Criterion, it's like, what's wrong with you? Because like the guy that wrote Cape Fear was like the De Niro one's like, how can anyone ever watch it twice?
I watched it twice.
My dad watched it every other day when he got older.
Really?
So, yeah, he loved it.
Oh
but
my gosh.
Brutal,
So yeah, see this movie. I highly recommend it. Bill.
Yes. So I picked Greedy from the 1993 Imagine movie written by Lowell Gans and Babalu Mandel. It's directed by Jonathan Lynn, who directed My Cousin Vinny. It was a humongous bomb when it came out, and I think it was the final movie that Michael J. Fox made for Universal, or was it? No, it was The Frighteners was the last one.
One of the three that he had done. Yeah,
exactly. It stars Michael J. Fox. He's a bowler, which was kind of random, and his career is on the way out, and all of a sudden he hears from his relatives that his grandfather is his very rich grandfather, who's
It's his uncle.
Oh, his uncle. Thank you. Played by this guy, uh, Kirk Douglas, has tons and tons of money, and they feel like his new nurse is trying to steal the money, so they want him back in his lives, and the entire family is manipulating each other, trying to get in his own good graces. I definitely won't ruin the ending. It has one of the best endings in film history.
It was like 7 a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, exactly. But other than that, I thought it was. I went to go see Flight Risk with Mark Wahlberg, and a guy had It's like, "What's your favorite movie?" You had a pen, and it's like Greedy. I was like, "I'm going to pick that movie."
Wow.
It's weirdly shot. There's so many shadows. Jonathan Lynn is such a good director. He did Nuns on the Run also, and Clue. I don't know why it's shot like a bad TV movie. It's like crazy. But there's such great stuff in it. Phil Hartman was the best in it. I wonder if he ad-libbed a lot of stuff. The girl from just one of the guys is in it. She's so funny. Jerry Burns is so great. It's messy, but it's really funny, and there's such good stuff in it you can't ignore it. But yes, I think it's exactly why the show is. It's a movie made for the Ejectables. Michael Super Arlington, what'd you think?
Well, it was hard for me to watch. I got like I don't know if you guys are familiar with, like, you clench your butt cheeks when you're uncomfortable, and I was very sore after this movie.
Okay.
Good work.
My couch cushions stuck to my ass when I stood up.
You look like a Kardashian.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a challenge for me to watch.
What did you like it? The funny lines?
Well, I'll tell you, I laughed once in the movie. So my wife agreed to watch. She wouldn't have watched the other two with me, but she watched this with me.
I like your wife.
And she's like, I don't know why you don't, what's so upsetting about this to you? And it just is so uncomfortable, so awkward. Like, there's hardly anyone to like. And then
Nancy Travis.
Who?
His girlfriend, Nancy Travis.
She's likable. But then, like, the arcs are weird, like you don't like grandpa, and the whole family, they're a bunch of jerks, and then he turns into a jerk, and then in the end, like, what's the moral compass of the movie kind of just changes her tune, like in a poof. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But they learned. It's like Willy Wonka, dude.
Say more about that.
Yes,
by doing the right thing, they were rewarded.
Yeah. Well, and then they have this nice condo, right? Like, they're moving Uncle Joe into the nice condo because he's destitute.
Yeah, it's Milwaukee, though.
And all that corny, "You're my kid now, I'm going to treat you like a kid," all that cheesy "I love you" dialogue from Michael J. Fox, and they wheel him in, and he's still being cantankerous, and it's a nice place, and the whole time Robin has been kind of like, "Come on, get over it. It's just money. Don't be greedy. Don't be like everybody else." And then at the end, she's like, "Is it okay for me to say what happened? I know people are kind of like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody."
You might as well.
Okay. She's just like, "Yeah, let's go move in with this asshole, Uncle Joe. Let's do it, man. He's rich. Let's do this."
It's Willy Wonka, because he was just trying to figure out who would love him.
But I don't think that's a solid defense for a really crappy movie.
No,
it's Willy Wonka.
You didn't laugh at Phil Hartman?
No, I was uncomfortable with that. I'll tell you when I laughed.
I didn't
this
like
is the
Beatles.
ultimate spoiler.
I want to see if you laugh when I laughed. Let's.
All right. So, like in the last 10 minutes, my wife
Okay.
fell asleep, and the very last scene of the movie, I laughed like a big, one of my awkward, loud, genuine laughs.
Yeah.
And it woke her up and scared her, and she punched me in the face.
Domestic abuse.
No, that would have happened in the movie, but it
Yeah.
did scare her. And it was when he got out of his wheelchair at the end.
Oh wow! That spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Ian, what did you think of this wonderful, hilarious?
I saw this movie at the cinema. Again, this was the time when I saw everything at the theater. You know, seeking that high of finding a good film, and I had no recollection of this film. I know I had seen it. Obviously, at the time I went to see it, you know, because I saw everything, but also I was like, oh, Olivia D'Abo is really cute. That was a million years ago.
Yeah, but Joyce Heiser is 1,000 times prettier. Also,
is that the one from?
Just one of the guys.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the same person. This is. One question: is Ed Begley Jr. in all of your picks?
I only picked She-Devil.
Okay, it just feels like an Ed, and no offense to him, he's a good actor, but I feel like it's just an Ed Begley Jr. kind of vehicle, where obviously it's not totally his film. It's just so.
He's the weakest part of it. He's the weakest part of it, dude. It's okay.
No, I mean, it's just such a middle of the road movie. It's not. I laughed once. And again, this is I feel like I'm being a jerk to you, and I don't mean it, Bill, because I think you're a good person. You choose some great movies. It's just so, I don't think it's awful. I don't think it's good. It's just so flatliney. And the one time I laughed was when Kirk Douglas is being dipped into the pool because we think we can't walk. And he says, I feel like a goddamn teabag. I giggled at that. That was kind of funny. And the only part I was slightly engaged and like, oh, was the first time Kirk Douglas lays his eyes on Michael J. Fox's character after having not seen him for several years. I was like, oh, that's a nice moment. But beyond that, I was just like, this is so painfully mediocre. I didn't work out my butt during this movie like you did, Michael, but it was really hard for me to get through.
You didn't like the funny banter, the witty stylings of the two of the best comedy writers that ever existed?
And one of them's in the movie too, right? As
yes,
the TV
he
director.
Was in Splash. He was in Splash also. He says bocce balls.
Oh, I never seen Splash. I need to see that. I know. No, I didn't. I felt like the dialogue was all forced. I love
all forced when they're fighting with each other at the table.
I didn't believe. I like Phil Hartman. I didn't feel like he was acting in the same film. He's just so over the top and broad, and I love that about him. I love that he was that. I felt he didn't fit in, and with the I just felt like the rest of them watching. I'm like, are we in the same movie? I don't know. It's just, I felt it was super duper weak. It was cool though. Kirsten Dunst is one of the children. So I was like, is that Kirsten Dunst? And I looked it up.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yes. She's one of the young kids. At 1 hour in, I wrote down, I'm completely tortured. But I made it through. I did make it through.
I appreciate it. You should have looked at some reporter fails on Instagram reels.
No, only thing I did was scroll some IMDb to get some background on this, but, yeah, I don't.
Yep, I'm telling you, it's for the winners in life. You know,
the winters in life.
No winners.
Yeah,
people like greedy.
Kirk Douglas was fun to watch,
and I guess it was his last movie before his stroke, which obviously changed his acting ability.
Yeah.
And Michael J. Fox, it's just, like I didn't understand. Was it Milwaukee? Was it LA? Like I didn't understand. Like where it took place.
It's in Pennsylvania, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then he's in Milwaukee, and then she's a roving sports producer. But I didn't understand.
Bowling.
Were they? Bowling. How uninteresting is bowling?
It's never been done before. It's funny.
There's a reason.
It's the Big Lebowski, Bill.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Lebowski.
Yeah.
Which is one of the best movies ever made.
I'm like, who cares about a bowling champion?
Yeah.
But weren't they at the Safari Inn though? I was like, is this True Romance? Isn't that the hotel they were at the beginning?
I don't think so. I don't think it was filmed in LA. Maybe it was.
I think it may have been there, but whatever. I think if you want to see Michael J. Fox's butt and Kirsten Dunst's early roles, then this is.
He did freeze frame it though.
I did. And I printed it and framed it. Nothing wrong with that.
I know. It's right. It's a man cave.
Yeah, he clearly was watching the film as well because that butt looked worked out. And because
Yes, he was ripped in this movie.
Yeah. Yep. He did get in shape for those
Bowling
his
scenes.
full nudity. Yeah.
I didn't believe a moment of his performance either. It's just like Kirk Douglas is kind of nice and charming and believable, but yeah. Bill,
It was
this
a stretch, but it's a movie that bombed, got bad
Deservedly
reviews.
so. Yeah.
Okay. and we're talking about it 25 years later, close to 30 years later.
Because
why are we talking about it now?
Because
it's a really funny, inventive movie that was right before certain people got greedy in the world. It takes, it's never been more prescient. I love it.
It's like the Willy Wonka, right?
Yes, it's like the Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
It's a Monday in the night. It's a 90s Willy Wonka with
Okay.
bowling.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally.
I get that, but they don't quite pull it off the way Willy Wonka did.
Well, it's. I mean, the one criticism is the cinematography. It looks horrible, but I don't know. Well,
yeah, this is the one criticism.
I think that's probably the only bad thing you can say about this.
Yes, I loved it.
I wanted to watch Silver Bullet again after watching this.
Did Michael J. Fox have a tattoo of bowling? I think he did. He had a bowling ball tattooed on his ass or something.
I'll look at the print on my wall. Hold
on. Go look right now.
Yeah. No, that is what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he's a bowler.
Wait, can we see the look? It's the
this is great. This is the personal justice scene.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. That's Silver Bullet, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just by chance, it's on my TV right now. Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill.
So let's pick Super Michael. You can't pick your own movie. What can you pick? And it begins with G. What's the movie you can recommend?
I'm going with the host.
You're gonna go with the host. Okay, yeah. Ian, you have to pick a movie. It has to begin with G.
Because Michael is super and Dan Attias is really nice, and I love werewolf movies. I was obsessed with that book as a kid. It's Silver Bullet, and I love you, Bill. No offense.
Okay, so I'm definitely gonna pick Silver Bullet. So hold on.
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Right.
So Michael, you get the Employee of the Month Akeem for outstanding performance on effort.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Michael.
Wow, I feel like I really deserve that.
You do.
Yeah,
because you worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us. You're an awesome guest, and so
it's my pleasure. Thanks for asking me. Let's just hang out for another half hour.
Yeah, sure.
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing later?
Watching the end of Silver Bullet.
Yeah. I might watch it again. This is the best part.
Yeah, everyone watch.
I had to rent it at Movie Madness, and the 4K was rented out. So maybe Michael's onto, but Greedy was not rented out.
Shocking. I've owned this on iTunes for years. So thank you for making me